I was just thinking about back in the day. Really, it was, hey, it's you. I haven't seen you in a long time. Remember back in the day, we used to walk to school, and in order to get to school, we had to walk uphill. Funny thing is, to get back home, we had to walk uphill, so it was both ways. And it was in snow up to here, minus 40 weather, broken glass, and we were barefoot because we couldn't afford shoes back then. Remember back in the day? That was pretty tough, but we didn't mind it. In fact, it made us strong and tougher, gave us character, gave us grit, made us who we are back in the day. But let's be honest, some things back in the day were much easier. I mean, just recall millions of years ago, at least that's what it feels like, you and I could make our way to the mall, and as we got to the mall, we didn't have to worry about tedious lineups, the smell of cheap hand sanitizer, and of course, masks. If you go far enough back in the day, you end up back in the Bible, Acts chapter 17, in Thessalonica, where God is on the move. And as we see God moving, he's moving his people as well. Paul and company find themselves in Thessalonica, and there they're sharing the good news about Jesus, proclaiming that he's the Messiah. Any opportunity they get, they go for it, because back in the day, that's what you did. You didn't have Instagram, and you didn't have TikTok, and you didn't have text messages, and you didn't have emails. Back in the day, you would tell people face to face, or if you couldn't do that, in a synagogue, or maybe in the marketplace. But you would tell people. You get the word out about Jesus, and they did that, and they were very effective, and it worked. However, it also worked at making things harder too. In fact, there are some accusations that were thrown at them. Let's read. Paul and Silas have caused trouble all over the world, and now they're here disturbing our city. And Jason has welcomed them into his home. They are all guilty of treason against Caesar, for they profess allegiance to another king named Jesus. Now at this point, Thessalonica and Paul and company would be maybe reflecting back in the day. Like, for example, Thessalonica. Back in the day before we had Paul and company come here, things were pretty good. I mean, we had to deal with Caesar, of course, and his tyranny and all of that sort of stuff. But, we had respect for the status quo back in the day. Of course, Paul and company, they're probably thinking themselves, back in the day was pretty good too. Back in the day, we could do what we wanted, go places that we wanted to visit, on vacations whenever we needed to, that sort of thing. However, Jesus came into the picture back in the day. Problem with back in the day is we think that it's the day when maybe it's just a day. And today could be the day. We forget this at times, that God is not just on the move in the past, but also here in the present. So today could be that day. One day we might be looking back in the day to this day, the day that God moved in our hearts and in our lives in such crazy, awesome ways. Today is the day for trouble and heartache and hardship and challenges, but it's also the day for joy and love and celebrations. Today is the day that the Lord has made. Today is that day. So friends, continue to move in God. Continue to make today the day. For God says, at just the right time, I heard you. On the day of salvation, I helped you. Indeed, the right time is now. Today is the day of salvation.